Hello everyone, it's Shane Kanto, your Wasteland reviewer, and I'm here to review Majority Rules, this new documentary from filmmaker AJ Schnack that focuses on the potential of using ranked voter systems in the United States for our elections, our primaries, and specifically the actual elections to elect our officials. And this film is very straightforward. Basically like, hey, this is the argument point on like why this ranked voter system should be utilized. It does show differing perspectives from politicians and such who bring up their opinions on whether this should be utilized or not. From a filmmaking standpoint, this film is very basic, very straightforward. It's well told and effective, and that's when it really comes down to the most important thing. But like, it feels more like a video essay and like a maybe even a little bit of a commercial for a ranked voter system. But it also has a really great look at this specific case study, as in Alaska, and how they utilize this system and how it really reframed how people's voices are being heard. And from a filmmaking standpoint, I feel like this is a really important film to watch because so many Americans are fed up with this two-party system that honestly is giving us the worst election ever because we have two horrible candidates, and it's just like, well, what are we supposed to do now? This is our system. These are the two people the two parties are picking. There we go. But this is a really refreshing look at like, this is what could be. And I think the most interesting thing about it is when they let the politicians actually speak for themselves. And you have very traditional, long-standing politicians on both sides that are against this, more minimally on the left, much more on the right. I think when you start having conservative Republicans saying like, conservatives will never win another election if we put this into play, that sounds like a you problem and probably something you need to figure out on your own, or that just means that the only reason that these extreme right people are getting elected is because of this framed system, and it's just like, that gets you really thinking. And I feel like hearing from the politicians themselves and their perspectives, I think makes this a lot more interesting, which kudos to Schnack for putting it into their court and being able to listen to their perspectives. And you have a lot of people, and they have people from all across the country throwing their ideas in. There's a lot of yes and no's across the board. I do think it's very interesting that it's like, it's too complicated for the American people. It's a pretty straightforward thing. You just put, who would you pick first? Who would you pick second? Who would you pick third? And don't repeat. And that's it. So the fact that they're like, this is way too complicated for Americans is kind of insulting. Hearing that from the politicians, just like, oh, you think you're too dumb? Americans are too dumb to utilize this system that would probably actually balance things more in this country. I think this is an important film. It's very by the numbers from a filmmaking standpoint. It's very straightforward. It's to the point. It feels like a 90-minute video essay, and with a really good example of a case study in Alaska that they were able to leverage here. I think this is an interesting and engaging film. It's an easy watch. And it never gets like too heavy. It's just, hey, this is what's going on. This is what could happen. And being able to look at that and gives a fresh look. And honestly, I would be down for them utilizing this ranked voter system. But we'll have to see, because this two-party system is not cutting it anymore, or ever was. So in the end, I think this is an interesting and engaging film that's very straightforward and easy to follow. And it gets interesting when you actually get to hear like a lot of like inside thoughts of politicians going outside, and it's just like a lot of things to ponder. But those are my thoughts on Majority Rules. Let me know what you think, and let's talk some movies. But thank you as always for tuning in and supporting your Wasteland reviewer.